I think his sister Nancy in Jamaica would say, "What a bam bam." That song, "What a bam bam." Draft Digital is saying that they're going to be introducing an annual paid account maintenance fee of $12 per year for accounts earning less than $100 in net proceeds over previous 12 months.
Hi, I'm Henika Watkins, Porter speaker, coach, author of Podcast Power, inviting you to listen to the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast, brought to you by Ruth Taylor, best-selling indie author and the Caribbean's most trusted voice on entrepreneurship. Get ready to dominate entrepreneurship.
It's episode 211 of the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Ruth Taylor, and in today's show, we're going to be talking about some of the changes that are taking place in the independent author publishing community, as well as the latest in my authorpreneurship ventures. This is going to be a solo show, no interview today, so stay tuned.
Your book is the perfect spark to get the fire going in your personal life, career, business, or ministry. Light that book spark today.
All right. So, a couple podcast episodes back, I talked about James Blatch's suggestion, and he's from the Self-Publishing Show. On his podcast, he talked about the influx of AI farmed books and what they were doing to affect the visibility of genuine authors on Amazon. And he recommended that Amazon start charging publishing fees. He recommended $300. And I was like, I understand, but that would significantly affect authors from my side of the world adversely because $300 is no monkey business. And if this were to become a fee that you have to pay with the upload of each book, then that can be quite problematic. Well, the problem still exists. And this past week, I believe it was April 14 or 15, I got an email from Draft2Digital, which signals that the change has begun. And I wonder if Amazon is going to follow suit. So a friend of mine sent me an email. And, the independent community is in uproar. So I'm sure this week, the 20th of April going forward, you're going to get maybe Joanna Penn will weigh on this. The Alliance of Independent Authors is going to weigh on this. And you're going to hear quite a bit of stir as to what is happening. And so I also put out the news in my Indie Authorpreneurs Facebook group, and the comments were interesting. And so I want to read to you excerpts of a newsletter that was forwarded to me, and it's from Monica Lionel. And she is a USA Today bestselling author of 50 plus books. And she breaks down some of the changes. So, Draft2Digital is going to be charging an account opening fee of $20 for new accounts. If you already have an account, the activation fee doesn't apply to you. So that's like for me. But the second part now of the change taking place might apply to me. Draft2Digital is now introducing, or will be introducing as of May 14, an annual maintenance fee, and this is what sets them apart. So we know Income Spark before used to charge an upload fee of $49. We know Book Vault also has a fee, and Amazon does not have a fee. It only takes a percentage of the books that you sell. And that's fine. Every bookstore will take a percentage of book sales, so that's normal. And we've had a history of companies charging per upload. No, for Ingram Spark, that was a deterrent. But for me in the Caribbean, Ingram Spark was not so much in the game because whenever I tried and other Caribbean authors tried to set up an account, we could not. So you had to be in the US or another country. And so what we did to get onto Ingram Spark, we would have to go through a third party like Draft2Digital or Lulu. And that's what we've been doing. Now, Draft2Digital is an aggregate distributor, in case you're new to publishing and you don't know who they are. They help you to get into libraries and bookstores, and they merged with Smash Words a couple years back, which was like one of the biggest publishing platforms for independent authors. And so Draft Digital has been very author friendly and helpful, and they've built up a tremendous reputation. They also have a partnership with, I think it's now in audio, formerly Findaway Voices, so you could get your audiobooks out to different platforms. Because again, for people in the Caribbean, we cannot upload directly to ACX, that's get our books directly onto Audible. We have to go through a third party. And so Draft Digital is saying that they're going to be introducing an annual paid account maintenance fee of $12 per year for accounts earning less than $100 in net proceeds over previous 12 months. Now, the truth is, for me, I don't think I've earned $100 from Draft Digital from the time that I have been on the platform. I have maybe about 6 books on the platform, and it is so that my books can have a broader, wider distribution beyond Amazon. So what it means is for me to keep my books on Draft to Digital, since I am not earning $100 in net proceeds, I will have to be paying $12 each year to maintain the books on the platform. And I don't know, what do you think about that? From a business perspective, the companies make money, especially like Draft Digital. When you sell books, they get a percentage. If your books aren't selling, and they have administrative fees and they have to pay their workers, that means there is no money. And then now with the advent of AI, technology and generative AI, and people just flooding the publishing platforms with low content books or inferior quality books, it's affecting the authors who are working hard to put out quality books. And so they have to do something, and this is their solution. So I have to really think about it. Do I stay on Draft Digital or do I come off? One of the authors in our Indie Authorpreneurs group in commenting says, well, authors have to consider it, or creatives, as the price of part of the price of investing in a book. And even if you have a store on your website, there are website fees that you have to pay annually. You have a Shopify store, it comes with a fee as well. So there is no, free passage for us. And so that's one of the big changes. And if you're not earning enough, then you're going to have to do what it takes to market the book for the book to earn enough to validate its presence on the platform, because it's a business. But you know what this did for me? It reminded me of what the show is about, that the book success is not just about book sales, it's part of a larger ecosystem. Because if you your book is part of a larger ecosystem and you're making money by developing programs around your books, then you would be earning enough that you can pay $12 a year. So I don't think the fees are exorbitant. I mean, I am paying Zoom every month, $14.99. I pay Opus Clip $12 every month. So Draft2Digital is not being unfair or unreasonable. Even with Book Funnel, there is an annual fee as well that you have to pay. I think it's $20 uh, when you're on a certain plan. So I think it is fair. It's just that we're not used to it. And what it does, it calls for us to take our author businesses more seriously. So, Draft2Digital, I'm not mad at you. You gotta do what you gotta do. And we do want to see less artificial books, but will this solve it? Since the fees, in a sense, are nominal, will it solve it? Is it a strong enough deterrent? The other big thing is what Barnes& Noble is doing. So Barnes& Noble has said that if your book is underperforming, they're going to remove your book. That's my understanding. So let me hope I am not misquoting anything or misunderstanding. Barnes & Noble Press is making a set of changes that are very significant. Barnes & Noble says there's a minimum retail price for print books, so all print titles must now be priced at $14.99 or higher. Now, Amazon made a change, it may have been last year, saying that if your print book is priced below $10, you would get only 50% of the royalties. Now, with the war going on, or different wars, the war in the Middle East and the cost of printing and price increases, this is understandable, right? So Barnes & Noble will start that on April 22, 2026. So that is going to happen this week. Now, if you have a lot of books, for example, if you are doing rapid release and you're releasing a book a month, that's a lot of change you have to go in and make in a short time. I have 41 books out now. I have published From Calling to Completion. The print book, the ebook will still come out on my birthday. But if you have a lot of titles, oh gosh, it's a short time to go back and update all of those prices. So if you are below the threshold, you may be removed if you don't update the prices. Secondly, there is a cap. You cannot release more than 100 titles per account. So if you're a publisher or you're an author who does rapid release and writes a lot of books, you cannot exceed 100 titles. And Barnes & Noble may remove the titles at their discretion to bring your account into compliance. The other change that Barnes & Noble has made is that they're enforcing original content by removing public domain titles from the platform entirely. So going forward, public domain content will be immediately taken down, and accounts that continue to upload it may be closed. They also said that they retain full discretion over account and title status. Barnes & Noble says that they may remove titles or close accounts at any time, including for low sales performance or content that falls outside their guidelines. No, it means authors have to adopt a business mindset. You can't just throw the book up on Amazon and leave it. Authors do not like marketing. But if you're going to keep your books on this platform, you will have to market. You either learn to do it yourself, or you pay people, or you do both, or you risk your book being removed. And then, of course, you can sell direct via your own website, and then maybe partner with Book Vault or other printers. But this may, in fact, reduce the number of books being produced. It could affect people in a number of ways. So, authors may not go as wide. They may restrict Amazon or go on their own website and begin to sell. I don't know. And will Amazon follow suit? That is the big question. Will Amazon follow suit? Amazon does take a large royalty from us, but for me, for the distribution and everything that they do, the cons are fewer than the pros. So the pros outweigh the cons. So, what are your thoughts on the changes? What is going to be your response? I may not remove my books from Draft2Digital immediately. I probably will give it a year or two. Or I find ways to begin to promote those books. But like I said, book sales on these platforms is not my main focus. I'm not one of those authors whose emphasis is solely on book sales. Hence, we have this podcast, Winning Beyond Book Sales. I'd rather be a best earning author than a best selling author. I did a post this week talking about one of the books I created last year that with those 3 clients and fewer than 7 book sales at that time, I made over 2,300 US dollars. And that's in profit by offering a program around the content of the book. So they have to read the book, go through the book, and then put it into practice. I created a coaching program and a boot camp around it. And so they only needed the ebook, which I use BookFunnel to deliver to them. And I knew at least one of them actually bought the physical print book from me. And the other 2 purchased the ebook online, and others purchased the ebook as well. So you are going to have to seriously consider your book as part of an ecosystem to really survive or do more direct sales. My research anyway showed that most of the authors in Jamaica, they made majority of their book sales from selling books directly. It wasn't online sales. So that's big news. Monica Lionel was saying that established authors will hit the 100 book cap easily. She was saying, this is a major structural change. It directly impacts high volume independent authors using rapid release strategies or even just having backlist heavy catalogs. She says it's not unusual for any established author to have more than 100 titles. For example, Nora Roberts, for example, has 200 plus romance titles alone and another 60 plus titles under J.D. Robb. Many independent authors who are using these portals, especially those with multiple pen names, will have double that. So for authors who already have their books uploaded, it's a real time and money effort to take down the books and get them re-uploaded another way. That will cost authors money to fix, and the deadline is tight. Yes, that was my concern, that they only have a few days. So the threat of Barnes& Noble removing titles from your account at their discretion, she says, is something she has never recalled seeing before from a major retailer. And she says it is unusually aggressive. It will cost established authors real money and time to fix, and it's likely to affect authors who have helped build the platform the hardest. I don't know if Ally is going to lobby on behalf of the authors for some leniency or change, or even expand the time for the authors to implement the changes. Less than a week to remove everything, that's not good. So that is the latest. I think his sister Nancy in Jamaica would say, "What a bam bam," that song. What a bam bam. This is a bam bam for real. So let's take a break and come back and talk about the latest in my entrepreneurship ventures. All right, so I'm excited about my latest entrepreneurship ventures. I wrote a book in 2017 called Keys to Win at Life. And one of my goals was to transform every key into a 1 to 2 minute video. But the cost of doing so was prohibitive, and I delayed. I also had asked 2 or 3 persons to do it, and it never materialized. Well, this was before reels and shorts became a thing. But now I have good news. I am going back to where I started out my first entrepreneurship initiative, had to do it using my book to create a personal development coaching program. Big on personal development. I taught personal development and got paid for it at a vocational school. And I've developed my own programs around. You only grow as much as you develop personally, right? And so what I'm doing is returning to that. When I first registered my business, it was book publishing and personal development. That was in 2015. And for the past couple of years, maybe in the last 6 years or so, I haven't placed as much emphasis on the personal development. Anyway, I am returning to my first love. And so on the Entrepreneur Secrets YouTube channel, thanks to Google Notebook LM, I am able to create animated explainer videos with the keys. And so far, 4 keys are already out. So on a Monday, the podcast goes out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on the YouTube channel. Sometimes the podcast is audio only, and sometimes it is video, especially when I do interviews. And to be honest, I prefer the audio podcast. It takes me less effort to edit and do things with it. But on YouTube, a lot of people seem to prefer visuals. So even if people are reading, like I watch some of the Afro-Korean romance, they still use some AI visuals as they read. And so Google Notebook LM, once I plug in the keys, which are short, there's a proverb, there's an explanation, there is an application, it will generate these short videos. And I've been telling it to try to keep it under 5 minutes. And so I'm using their AI voice, but I'm also taking the transcript using my own voice, and I'll be using maybe 2 other Jamaican voices to assist. And so Tuesdays to Fridays, I'll be uploading Keys to Win at Life. It's 100 keys, and these are 100 proven ways to handle life's challenges and win. So this is like your personal problem solving success toolkit. And it's a roadmap for life. I remember a friend of mine said he had this book on his nightstand for a long time, and it became one of his favorite books. And so you have keys like win with accountability, win with best practice, Thanks to Google Notebook LM, this dream is a reality. And they have a reasonable payment plan. So the payment plan that I'm on, I should be able to finish creating all of these videos if I choose to within 3 months or less. There's also a free plan. It's just that if you want to create videos, more than 5 videos for the day, you can't do that on the free plan. And so go to the Authorpreneur Secrets YouTube channel for your daily dose of success in entrepreneurship and personal development. And both are important because I found each time I invested in my personal development or a coach or something, my business grew. And so the two are compatible. You need to invest in your personal development to ensure your business growth. And so I'm excited about that. Really, it's a passion project. So even if I don't get a lot of views, just doing it is satisfying and it gets more eyes on my book because this book from 2017 has not been selling that much. And so this is another way to get the content out. And if the channel becomes monetized, that is extra income. So go check out the Keys to Win at Life. I am going to play one of the Keys to Win at Life. So listen and let me know what you think about it. Comment on YouTube or comment on Spotify or comment on Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the Keys to Win at Life series with Dr. C. Ruth Taylor. I'm Dr. C. Ruth Taylor, and these are keys from my book, Keys to Win at Life 100 Proven Ways to Handle Life's Challenges. So today, there's no AI voice, but my voice. Let's dive into key number 4 of 100. Win with a burning desire, also known as passion. This key is at the heart of every single achievement. It is a force that's actually inside every single one of us. There's an African proverb that says, send a child where he wants to go and he will see his pace. It's so simple, right? But it's also incredibly profound. What it's telling us is that when anyone, is doing what they genuinely want to do, everything changes. Their energy, their speed, their whole vibe, it just transforms. And that right there is the bedrock of what we're talking about today. This isn't just some feel-good quote. It's a core principle. It's something most successful people in history have tapped into for centuries, sometimes without even knowing what they were doing. All right, so let's dive in. Let's unpack this key to win at life. How does it actually work? Win with a burning desire. To get our heads around this, we've got to look at the work of the legendary Napoleon Hill, who dedicated 25 years of his life, a quarter of a century, to studying over 500 of the world's highest achievers. He was on a mission to find the common thread, the starting point that they all shared. And you know what? He found it. And what he found, he called it a burning desire. Now, let's be clear here. We're not talking about a simple wish, like, oh, I hope I get this promotion. No, no. This is an intense, all-consuming passion for a definite, specific purpose. Think of it like the rocket fuel that ignites everything else. And this is where it gets really interesting because a burning desire completely flips the script on the whole idea of discipline. I mean, think about it. On one side, you've got forced discipline. It's like a chore. It drains all your energy and you're constantly fighting yourself to get it done. But when you're driven by a burning desire, that same work now becomes almost effortless. It feels natural because you genuinely want to be doing it. It doesn't drain you, it energizes you. Okay, so this all sounds great, but the big question is, how do you find your passion or that burning desire? How do you tap into that desire inside of you? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. This is where we're going to turn the camera around and focus on you. What is it that you do that makes you light up? What gets you really excited? Or what gives you the feeling of, yeah, this matters? Whatever that is, it's a huge clue. Now, here's the other side of that coin. What's that thing you can do where you totally lose track of time? You know, you look up and suddenly hours have gone by, but you don't feel drained at all. In fact, you feel energized. Whatever that activity is, that right there is a giant flashing neon sign pointing directly to your passion. I know this can sound a bit abstract, but let's bring it down to earth with a real world application of how this works. We all know his music, right? Shaggy, Mr. Bombastic. But his actual journey is a perfect example of this whole principle in action. His story started out super simple. Back in college, he just loved to sing and DJ. That's it. It was just a hobby. Something he did for the pure fun of it. But here's the key. The passion didn't fade. It persisted. For years, he just kept doing it, not for the money, but just because he loved it. And eventually, slowly but surely, that passion, that burning desire, turned his little hobby into a massive worldwide music career. He literally turned what he loved into his job. And Shaggy's journey perfectly shows us that final critical step. It's not just about having a passion, it's about giving it a purpose. It's about taking that fire inside you and channeling it into something that actually makes an impact. So let's recap this whole path. Your path to achievement. Step one, it all starts with a burning desire. Step two, find the clues and pay attention to what excites you and feels effortless. Step three, your passion can actually become your profession, just like it did for Shaggy. And that's what you need to focus on. And the final and most powerful step is turning the whole thing into a way to serve other people. And that's the final thought I want to leave with you today. What's that one thing that you do that's amazing? And then from calling to completion, I got my proof copy and the print book is out. I have been reading that book over and over, and it has just been encouraging me. And so I want to encourage you. If you're struggling to finish something that you've started that you feel called to do, if you're struggling through your doctorate, if you're struggling with your business, don't give up. I encourage you to go read this book. And then the celebration of this book and my doctorate is, as I said, May 9. It's exclusive on Zoom, limited to 99 persons plus myself. And you have to purchase a copy either of the ebook for $2.99, or you can get the print book for $10.95 from Amazon, or $12 if you order directly from me, because that includes shipping and handling. Then you would get the Zoom access. Just email me proof of what you've done. So I am so excited about that. And finally, I have converted my dissertation to a book. I created the cover for it. It's called the Authorpreneur Secrets Blueprint. I am going to print it this week and get it to my editor. And you will have to buy the print book directly from me because it's going to be for the programs that I am developing to train authors to become authorpreneurs. So this is the Authorpreneur Secrets Blueprint. It's a proven research-based model to turn books into profitable businesses, or I would say to create sustainable income from books and create lasting impact. And it's truly a guidebook. I present my doctoral journey and the research insights. Then I break down the ACTS model that was developed out of my doctoral research. Part of the celebration will include a panel of past doctoral students or doctors who will be sharing about their experience. So if you're thinking of embarking on a doctoral program or higher education studies and you have a family and all of that jazz and you're wondering how you're going to manage, they're going to be sharing their experiences, their tips, lessons to navigate that journey. And all you have to do is purchase a copy of the book From Calling to Completion, Leadership and Life Lessons from a 12-Year Doctoral Journey by C. Ruth Taylor. And it's on Amazon. And it's a tiny book. It's a mini book. I think maybe it has 60 pages or so. So it's a tiny book and a quick read. In Jamaica, I would say a little but it talawa. It's power packed. It is power packed. And I'm not just saying that because I wrote it, because each time I read it, it encourages me because that's the latest in my entrepreneurship ventures. So I wanted to bring you up to speed with what's happening in the publishing industry. There are some other things, I'll talk about it at another time, and about some scams that are going around and things like that. All right, that's it for today. Just reminding you that of the making of books, there is no end. Go pen it to win it and dominate entrepreneurship. Ta for now, until next time.